interest of keeping ship management very interesting business activity in Cyprus. Of course, navigating through net zero framework, ensuring regulatory compliance, ETS, EU MRV, IMO DCS, and so on, the digital technologies, the data analytics that come more and more in shipping, artificial intelligence and smart techs on board, optimization in operations for increasing efficiency and sustainability, not to forget crew management, crew training for new emerging maritime technologies, a holistic support of crew in respect of mental health and welfare. All these new demanding changes, they will have an impact also on how ship management will be transforming its services to remain an attractive option for ship owners. So there is a rethink most probably needed. And in this discussion, we will be hearing the views of the panelists. If a new operational model for the ship manager is required, if it will be interesting to hear if the relation to the ship owner tends to become rather a strategic lifetime partnership or some sort of life cycle custodian, shifting beyond typical technical and crew management to streamlining new services for responding and managing a very complex regulatory, digital, and environmental regime which need to handle the challenges of the transition. I'm greatly honored to be moderating this panel today, and as I mentioned before, we have very well-known maritime leaders from the ship management industry, and that is also a very well-balanced panel discussion, which includes third-party managers, but also in-house management companies. And it will be interesting to hear from our esteemed panelists their views, what's next in ship management, which are the new tasks, which are the new challenges, but also which are the new opportunities to be born, which we shall not concentrate on the problems, but we should see also for opportunities to come. We're going to focus in this discussion on safety, performance, and about people. People on board, and I believe also ashore. I'm going to start by asking Basil next to me to speak a bit about ship safety. And the question is, to remain competitive and profitable, ships need to maximize their operational performance and reduce downtime. What steps ship managers take to ensure that their managed fleet operates cost-efficient, safely, and environmentally sound? On top of that, it would be nice to hear how do you prepare your ships to meet increasing posted control inspections, which nowadays is driven from a highly targeting and performance-oriented environment, like the EMSA company performance ship risk profile. Could you please elaborate?
Hi, thanks very much for the invitation, first of all, and thank you very much on behalf of Nicos as well, who wasn't able to join us. So yes, indeed, as Nicos has very well described, things are changing very rapidly in ship management. And as far as specifically safety and port state are concerned, I think that each company this is a very fragmented market, and there's room for many different ways of different strategies and different ways of tackling things. So I think one of the things that each company needs to decide, and I'm speaking on behalf of captive management companies now, is what each of us think we can be good at, better than everyone else at. And one of the things that the Hadjipetrou family has decided for a very long time has been to focus on very high quality, modern, mostly Japanese-built ships, to build very long-term relationships with very high-quality counterparties. And these have been aspects of our business that have differentiated, as we think, from many other companies. But now we have to also look forward to all the new challenges and opportunities that arise. And, there's ship-shore integration, digitalization, analytics in order to drive efficiency, predictive maintenance, all those sorts of things that we've been talking about, and which I think a lot of companies are doing. One of the things that we think, particularly at Alassia, that is very important, is to embrace AI and embrace it quickly. So I'm not on the AI panel, so I guess I can be a little bit more aggressive about our views about AI. And I'll just give a very, I'll challenge everyone to do something very simple. Provide any LLM your management system. Yes, all 1,500 pages of it. And then also provided your last 20 port state control closeout reports. And then on the next port state control that isn't clear, maybe that has a few deficiencies, give it the port state control report and ask it to prepare the closeout report for RightShip on your behalf. I think you'll be amazed about what answer you're going to get. So basically our view is that we should not think of AI as another search engine. We should look at AI at something that can help us do our actual day job better. And since I've started already talking about port state controls, I think at least at Alassia, we've gone full circle. So a long time ago, probably before I got involved in shipping, the crew members were in true control of their ship and the decision making on board the ship. Then with the advent of technology and communication, the control has come back to the office, and in many ways the ownership of running the ship has been transferred back to the office. I believe that in order for our ships to deal with and comply with all the new requirements and vettings and inspections, we need to now turn all the argument on its head and re-empower our crew members to take ownership of the job that they're doing. They need to realize that it's their responsibility to pass an inspection or a port state control inspection, obviously with the full support of the company and of the office. And as a final thought, I think all of us on board and ashore, we need to realize that everything now is interconnected. 10-15 years ago, if you had an issue with a port state control inspection, you would fix the problem in order to get the ship out of port. And if you were a well-organized company, you would try to make sure that it won't happen again. Now, anything that doesn't go according to plan on board a ship has huge implications on the rest of the fleet and on the management company. So we need to take all of these things a lot more seriously than we used to take them in the past. Thank you.
Thanks, Basil. Of course, it was a very, very useful insight to focus on quality built ships, to differentiate, embrace AI technologies, but also give responsibilities to crew. I would like to have the views and opinions of the speakers. If you have anything to top up or to add, we should avoid repeating. Yes, Dieter.
Okay. First of all, good morning from me, and thank you to Nicolas and the organizers and to Bolis, and also thank you. I don't know who created the panel, but for the selection of the panel, because I think you see here two captive managers. Actually, Franck just said they do some third party. Then we have nearly all third party, and I'm also third party, but coming out of an owner's captive management as well. And I think it goes to show that, even though we call ourselves owners or managers, at the end of the day, we all manage the ships. So we're really also focusing the same, have to force the same issues that we face. I'm not so sure about the AI support in terms of safety management. Obviously, yes, if you review your deficiency reports, then that may help. But I think shipping is still very much a people's business, and really what needs to be at the forefront of making the ship safe and having good port state control performances as well is engaging with your crew. And I think this is where certainly from our side, this is where we put the focus on. We have our own training centers. We have a very high retention rate of our crew. We do very frequent, more than weekly calls with all our ships, where we engage with the crew not necessarily on the technical condition of the ships, but rather on getting feedback and also on discussing with them safety issues. And this has helped us to perform also very well on port state control inspections. So I think rather than focusing just only on technical support, it's really the people that we need to engage with that help us, the people on board and on the office as well, but mainly the people on board that will help us to perform better.
Thank you very much. Andreas, do you have something to add, or shall we move on the next?
Well, I can only agree to what has been said. Just to add a bit of on our view, we have faced before situations that we had a failed post-state inspection, and by analyzing the results, perhaps the reason was that maybe the budget was too low, or the ship was taken under management in a condition which was largely unknown. So we have corrected ourselves in this regard. That's some years ago, whereby you are a lot more careful on the tonnage you manage and the relationship you have with the client. But in general, I have to confirm that obviously the performance of the senior officers, and I don't talk only about post-state, it's siren inspections, all the inspections we go through. As one of our friends mentioned in a meeting with IMO a few years back, he said, Big Brother is watching us. And the captains and the officers on board have been watched continuously by terminals, by everybody. So it's not only charterers and so on. So what we need to make sure is that there is a high level of seamanship on board the ships, very close cooperation with the office, and obviously measurement of the performance through technology and other means. In a snapshot, this is what I would say.
We'll come to that.
Thank you.
A bit later. Franck, unless you don't have something to top up, I will move to the second question, although I would like to also mention regarding the first question that proactive thinking, I believe, should be a good approach in managing safety-related responsibilities. Well, about people now, we all, I believe it's widely acknowledged that crew training, STCW standards, they remained a bit behind developments, and we see a need for creating a new or aligning crew training standards with the current trends of technology. So being a ship owner or being a ship manager, do you believe a new strategic approach is needed?
Well, I think in respect of crew, I have a few points that I think are important. First of all, I want to say thank you for being invited to this panel, and it's great to be amongst the world's most successful and most professional ship owners and managers, which is a gift. There's always something you can learn at these sessions. in respect of crew, we have to we have to go a little bit back in history, I think, and find ways, or that is at least what we are doing, to get crew much closer to us. Even though we get crew from crew managers, then we spent a lot of effort and resources on making sure the crew feel that they work for us. So that is through training, that is through interaction with their families, that is through having our own office and the crew manager's office and so on, to get a feeling that we are working together and we know each other. And I think that building up of trust, which remind us a little bit of when I started sailing in the 80s, where you were employed by the owner and you were extremely loyal to the owner. I'd like to get some of that back again. We probably can't remodel the past, but we can get close to it in the sense that we work together in a way of optimizing the needs for each other. That also means that the training will stick much more. People will hopefully stay longer, even though we are in a world where a lot of new ships are coming, and as we know, every successful seafarer is always offered a better job somewhere, right? So you have to you have to make sure they rather stay at home than go out, and you can only do that in collaboration and training. And I think we do find that it's not difficult to do, even though you don't employ people yourself, because modern managers are very open to let us use their facilities to collaborate in making it maybe a more Asyad branded event than the manager's event. But that's something you have to go into. And I find that is the most important thing we have. We have tried very much to change our in-house ship management into focusing on being a service provider to the commercial colleagues we have. And looking at it not like we are doing a task and we are the owners and they are the salesmen and all that, but rather that the more we support them, the better money they can get in, and the happier we all are. And we are trying to do the same thing with the crew, that they are an integrated part of the sales force, which they really are, especially on energy trading, LNGs, tankers, and so on, because they talk to all the charterers, they talk to the terminals, and so on. So that's a very important model. Thank you.
So you need to have responsible crew. You need to have loyal crew.
Yes.
How about? You already touched the work-life balance and the mental health, which was the next point I wanted to raise, and we can still have the chance to discuss about this. But I find it important to examine the technical requirements which are needed for the transition. Do we need more specializations? We have today navigational engineering offices. Do we need something in between, something new, or shall we top up the educational time and make education from 3 years to 6 years just to have engineers educated to have more knowledge on digital or on artificial intelligence, which I don't believe it should be necessary to have on board the ship, at least not, simply speaking, not so much. So is there a need for new training specializations, or what we have today is enough? I repeat again, and my criticism, if you can take it like this, that STCW was left behind the developments.
I think I'll do it short because my colleagues probably have good points as well. I think the training we have today is good. It can always be better. I think it follows time. I think suppliers of various technologies are very forthcoming with training and all this. And if we talk about new positions on a ship, well, I think if you ask on board a ship, everybody will tell you what we really need is a secretary. because of all the administration, right? So I think we can do with what we have, but we also have to find a way to get all that paperwork away.
Thank you, Franck. Gentlemen, yes, please.
Can I pick up on the thought that
Yes,
I
sure.
found very interesting from Franck just now? You said that basically you treat even though you're a captive manager, you treat the ship management as a support function to the commercial, really. And I think this is actually how we see ourselves as well. We really want to be the support function for the ship owner, particularly in terms of the operational side. We didn't talk much about that, but we want to be, the ship owners outsourced technical operations, HSQE, marine department. We're just sitting somewhere else, but we want to be cooperating and collaborating with the ship owner in the same way that you do it in one office, we do it in two separate offices. And I just thought that the idea of you treating this already and as two functions within one organization is very, very interesting. Yes. So
Thank you.
I wanted to share that.
Thank you, Didier. Andreas, you have anything to top up? Or shall we move into the next?
Nico, just a
crucial?
very basic comment. I mean, you refer about changing the educational levels of
Standards.
the standards of the
Yes.
seafarers. Nico, at this point, we struggle to get qualified
Seafarer.
people to sail on the ships that we currently have.
Yes.
So extending the educational standards or the duration of building up officers and so on, it sounds
It's
very,
not my opinion.
it sounds very nice theoretical, but
Yes. No.
I mean, my humble view is that as we move along, I mean, on the one hand, you have the AI and the crewless ships philosophy, and then you have the philosophy of let's build up more knowledge of the seafarers and through education and so on, which is something we need to do anyway. But in general, the fine line is in between, and what you need with the seafarers is to provide proper rotations, proper training standards, proper guidance from the ships, and this is a way I think in the future. Now, with regards to new technologies, we realize that the new generation of chief engineers is not as hands-on as the chief engineer we had 15 years ago. Because 15 years ago, the chief engineer probably could fix
Everything.
nearly
Instantly,
everything.
yes.
Whereas now, you need service engineers for this, and service engineers for that. So we have ended up with a chief engineer who is coordinating
Yes.
and overviewing rather than doing things. So that,
Manager.
I think this is a direction that, unfortunately, we will have to continue.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. That was a very interesting point and good to hear. Of course, it was not an opinion that crew training would double in time, but there are only two options, I would say, only to adopt new technologies. Either we extend the educational time or we create more specialized fields. My next question is about performance in a changing maritime landscape. I will address this, I will start from Didier. The changing maritime landscape requires large-scale investments for the ship and infrastructure to optimize ship operations for reducing emissions to meet new regulatory standards. Innovative technologies are emerging and will be installed on board existing or new buildings sooner or later. Is the maritime industry willing to cover the extra cost of innovation and compliance? How do you see that from your point of view, being a
I think
real skin ship management?
the easy answer is as long as compliance is also a business case, yes, the shipping industry will take it up. I think it was clear also from the previous panels where the discussion was that the shipping has done a lot already over the last years to improve emissions, to reduce emissions, and to essentially reduce fuel consumption. And that was because it was a business case. It made sense. You use less fuel, you have less emissions, and of course we can pat ourselves on the back now. and say we did fantastic. We did. I mean, there's no two views about it. But I also believe that going forward we will need to do more. I have a slightly different view on the NZF than the previous panel had. I'm very concerned with the fact that we do not have global regulation in this respect at the moment. And we have seen from the presentation of Lloyd's Register that it starts already now, that we will see regional requirements, and if we see African countries taking this as their own business case to make money, then I think it's going to be, it's going to be a serious issue for ship owners and ship managers. So I really hope that we will see some form of global regulation. I agree that the NZF was flawed, and the IMO should definitely not act as a bank, but I really believe we need to see a global regulation that we can all we all have a level playing field. And at the end of the day, the cost that will have to be spent, the cost that will have to be incurred by ship owners will be borne by the end users. It's not as if we are being taxed and cannot pass it on. At the end of the day, it's the end user that will pay for it. Just a few words, I think, where ship managers can assist ship owners, and I'm not talking about the ship owners, the big ship owners that are in the room here. But we have a lot of smaller ship owners who don't know what to do. How do I comply with CII? How do I get my ship back up from a D rating or an E to C or B? What do I do going forward in the next years when I order new ships? So we actually have our own decarbonization team, advisory team that will advise on existing ships, on retrofits, on technical upgrading, but also on operational efficiencies that we can suggest to the owner. So I think as ship managers we are very well suited to develop this for the owners and come with a proposal and then take it from there, particularly, as I said, for the smaller ship owners.
Thank you, Dieter. The same question goes to Andreas, but I will differentiate a bit the last section of the question by adding the cost. And I know that you at Columbia Shipmanagement, you invest a lot in digital and performance monitoring. Do these investments, they really pay off? Are the ship owners who use the services of your company willing to cover all these services that you offer them?
Yeah. I think it's not a matter really of our clients, but in general, what you mentioned earlier about the industry covering the costs of the innovation, I think what applies largely in our industry is that each company is willing, as long as somebody else pays for it. So as a management company, we have invested a lot in innovation tools and projects and so on. And obviously we have paid for it for the purpose of creating a performance tool, for example. But then for the ship owner, it's a question mark whether this performance tool will really provide for the owner additional pull points or a better hire and so on. And if the consumption is paid by the charterer, it's also something that is not willing to invest. So I think in general, the various tools which are provided, unfortunately fragmented in our industry, they may be commercially viable for one company, maybe with a fleet of 100 or 200 ships, but for smaller operators it will not. So I think the incentive we have as an industry is to work more closely together, not only with the service provider or the client, but also with the competitor to create synergies so that we create viable products for the industry. So yes, Nicos, the clients are willing to pay for it, but this is because we reach the points of having economies of scale and the ability to sell a product cheaper. On a very simple note, the sensor technology and the optimization with the ships connectivity in the old days would cost maybe 30,000, 35,000 just to install the sensors. Whereas now, products in the market, they refer to 5,000. So the pricing is changing with the evolution of the technology as well.
Andreas, thank you very much for your remarks and points. Very useful, and I think the answer was widely answered. I'm going to start again the final round. We only have 8 minutes. Yes, please.
Just wanted one comment on the decarbonization discussion that we had before on the previous panel. There was a lot of discussion on alternative fuels or new fuels, and I agree much of this is probably never going to see the light of day. But there was no discussion at all, or it was not part of the discussion, abatement technology and carbon capture systems. And I'm wondering why this hasn't been considered at all. It's certainly not something that is for every ship, but I think it should be part and parcel of the big puzzle.
The last session of my question will be to give you, everybody, the floor to mention whatever you believe it's useful or whatever it's to the wide interest of the people. You will have the chance to explain in detail about this project, which I know personally it's a very interesting one, and but I'm going to start again from my left hand, and Basil, as a concluding now and short remark, because we don't have too much time left, and the same question is addressed to all of you. Do new challenges in the road to energy transition create also new opportunities for ship managers? This is the basic question. What could be such opportunities? And also feel free to share with us any interesting development regarding your company which could be of the widest interest here.
Thank you. So basically we've described how much more complicated the job of the ship manager has become and is becoming as time goes by. So the way I look at business is very simple. There are qualifying aspects and then there are winning aspects. So the winning aspects are the buying the best ship at the best price, chartering her out, selling her at a good price, all those things that make the difference at the end of the day. The qualifying aspects are what you need to, the cost of doing business, what you do to just be able to operate in the industry. So it's obvious that the qualifying aspects of our business have become extremely more complicating and challenging over the past few years. And thankfully for us as ship managers, that means that our job is a little bit less commodity and a little bit more value add. So, it's a lot more hard work, but I suppose how does the saying go? Opportunity often gets lost because it's hidden behind hard work, right? So I think all these challenges are just making it more difficult for competitors to compete with us. So if we can survive and thrive in this more competitive landscape, we'll be more successful in the future.
Franck, thank you, Basil. Thank you. Franck,
thank you, Basil, and you're right. I think whatever happens in the world, also these energy discussions, it's loaded with opportunities. The way we have looked at it is that many things might happen or might not happen. The best thing we can do for our customer, which is my commercial colleagues, is to focus on how are we going to handle all these challenges. If this happens, if that happens, if we get a fine for CO2, if we can put carbon capture, whatever it might be. We have done that by combining our operations together with the technical management, and we have put our claims and insurance together as well. So we have a holistic picture of what cost impact comes to the owner, and how can we address them best possible. So if we make this investment, will we reduce claims and so on, so and so? If we follow up on these and these things, how can we reduce the cost of CO2 emissions for ships going to USA, which makes them more attractive, and we can get a higher charter rate and so on. I think the big opportunity lies in looking at every adversity as a new opportunity. Right? Thank you.
You're welcome. Dieter, now it's your time, please.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk much about the carbon capture system. I think I gave enough presentations on this, but I think it's an interesting project, and I think it is worthwhile looking at for certainly for the part of the fleet. And I'm happy that we can support at least some of our owners with this. Hopefully, the pilot will go into a market phase, and then we'll have more uptake after that. But I just wanted to, really, Franck, I think, you basically make my statements. We want to be close to the owners' commercial department, and we, as InterMaritime, we really do we do a lot in terms of operational assistance or performance for our clients, be that on the dry side with we train our crews in cargo handling and crane driving and so on, cargo hold cleaning too, vetting and vetting support, Rio Tinto dues certification and so I think we would really the opportunity for ship managers is to be take a holistic approach to the ship owner's operations and to provide the ship owner with everything that he needs except for the ship financing. And that's it. So, thank you.
Great, Dieter. Andreas, you have 1 minute, 38, 37, 36, 35 seconds, but we're going to give you a grace minute if you need it. Thank you.
Nico, I think it's a massive opportunity for managers these days because the market is changing, the regulations are all going, and nobody really likes too much control. But unfortunately, it's a way we go. The way we like to see things is that we are the strategic partner of the owners, the strategic partner of the supply chain, the strategic partner of the crew manager. We want to be in the center of the evolution of the industry. We have been selected by a company like Abu Dhabi Ports with massive opportunities to team up with them to manage their entire fleet under a JV, because they have recognized that if you work closely together under full transparency with your service provider, you can only gain. I don't believe that we know more than anybody else here. I think we have to learn from anybody. Whoever I look at, I know that they have an expertise that we don't have. So the role is to learn, to adjust, to adopt who we are, and develop the product that we offer to the industry. We are saying that we want to abolish the word third-party manager. We don't want to be third-party managers. We want to be second-party managers or considered in-house managers. This is a model we like to work. Thank you.
Andreas, you couldn't say that better. Thank you very much. It was very interesting. Thank you, gentlemen. Unfortunately, no ladies on the panel. Thank you, gentlemen, for this very nice, interesting, and hope to see you soon again. I don't know if we have just a few seconds to sum up, or I think the discussion was very clear. There is a need to adapt generally into the transition. New products, new services will be needed to achieve the tasks of the energy transition. Ship management is here and is ready to adapt its operations to succeed. Thank you very much, and thanks also Nicolas and Miss Olga.